Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to our weekly stock market update video. This is your analysis on the overall market S&P 500, QQQ, as well as the Bitcoin MX7s. And we're looking at their support and resistance in their technical charts, as well as sentiment data, dark pool datas, sector datas, and economic datas. All right, let's get to the datas before we get into the technical charts. And if you guys just want to skip the datas, perfectly do that as well. Just skip ahead into the technical charts. I'll be doing the commodities update tomorrow, so make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more updates. All right, let's take a look at this week. So this week, there's our market cap wise, right? Tech, financial, and healthcare is always the biggest sector. These three make up to 40% of the market. So if these are all bright red, market is likely red. And we have energy sector being in the green, which market hates if we're getting these kind of rotations, because it just shows inflationary concerns. And while I know that we have geopolitical tension a lot this past 2 weeks, and which is causing oil to spike drastically, which increases the fear of inflation. And job data came in really bad this Friday. So, and we didn't even see the rate cuts tick up that much for probability wise. We're getting it's a 3.7% of no rate cuts on the March 18th because of the inflation concerns. So now we're kind of like in a almost like a stagflation environment. So market hates that, and which is pretty much reflecting what we're seeing. No rotations in the market at the moment between any of the sectors. Between the SPY, there's none of the sectors getting any kind of rotations. This is what it looks like when money kind of leaves the market at the moment. So yeah, because market hates stagflation. There's AI sentiment data, right? It's just kind of in the middle, historic data. Nothing to report here, really. What I want to see is next week, after this Friday's really bad job report, right? These are all reported on Wednesdays. So I want to see how next week Wednesdays will reflect this week's sentiment. See how bearish people becomes. All right, in terms of dark pools, we have this PSQ, which is QQ short. And we had talked about this during February too. This number 4 largest print, number 1 largest print, which is right around here, which is February 4th. It's right around here and here. So we're trading slightly below it, but not by much, right? We're still trading in range September. It's been half a year between this range. So when these ranges do break, it's going to cause a lot of momentum because as well as for SPY, this VSQ, which is SPY's, VOO, SPY derivative ETF for SPY. You can see number 2 large print, number 1 largest print, number 3, 4, 5. Literally all the largest print is in this entire cluster of stuff traded here. So when this 6-month range breaks in September, it's going to create a lot of momentum and volume in whichever direction it breaks. So be cautious of that, especially with all the negative news we're getting, job numbers, right? Job numbers is right. 1 month doesn't make a trend, so we'll have to see how the next month comes in. But but the Friday one is definitely not looking great. It's just really weak numbers. There's rate cuts, right? We talked about this. No rate cuts until really September for now because of those stagflation concerns. So the good news would be if the geopolitical tension, eases, inflation concern slows down a bit, and obviously if the job number just picks up next month, then that'd be probably the best news. But if it doesn't, right, and at least the geopolitical tension news slows down, at least we could potentially get more rate cuts because of job market rolling over. But if the commodities continue to rise, inflation concern increases, then we're becoming stagflation. We can't even cut while the job numbers are bad. Then that's like the worst case scenario we'll have. So keep on watching these economic data for next month. At least these next couple of months is going to be really key overall. In terms of CPI data, this one won't reflect the recent events that we just had these past couple of weeks. So probably won't come in that bad. But just keep on watching these. Core PC as well, and has a couple of more job openings data for this coming week. All right, let's get into the technicals. So, right, not much technical wise, right? We're still trading in this range. I'm waiting for this range to break as well. Probably everyone is as well. But if we break this 572, which is the middle of those two ranges. This is the first range, and if we break below that, then I'm looking for it to trade between here and here, this range. And the key for me is the Qs, right? If the Q decides a bear break right here in its range, then I'm looking back at 589 and to this 585, this red line here, which is prior all-time high support. Sorry, prior all-time high resistance, acting as support. So it's gonna likely gonna have some support here. If Qs break down to here, it's probably likely gonna test the 652 area. And then let's say things chill out a little bit, around the world and everything drop, the data doesn't roll over. There's a solid chance that this area may hold, and then we may bounce back up. And next, maybe we'll make all-time highs. but we'll see, right? Those are ifs, if those things do happen. But for now, no signs of that yet. Also, right, if things escalated and job data rolls over, next we get a weak bounce here, and those data come in and we roll over, right? That could happen as well. So then it becomes exacerbated, because if you have multiple job datas that are that bad, right, people are going to start to have recession fears coming in, and that is a catalyst that could break down on the market, right? A recession isn't just like a one-day thing. That would definitely break down the market if it does come in. If we get multiple job datas really weak. Same thing for Qs, right? Similar idea, right? We just talked about that range, this range breaking. These are the lows I'll be looking for. All right, let's take a look at Bitcoin. So not a great look at all. This was a nice bounce on Wednesday, but that was it. Bulls were hoping for more of a follow through, but at the moment, shorter term bulls are still okay. We did make a higher low here and a higher high, so daily uptrend confirmed. So we can at least hold where we are right now, the 66 zone, and make another higher low. That'll be perfectly fine, right? Bulls will be okay, right? This is where all the support is, 66. But longer term picture, bears are still in control, right? You zoom out to this chart, right? Nothing here tells me is bullish. We literally dropped like 125,000 to like 60, right? So that's like 50% drop, and this is all the bounce there is, and then we give it all back already, and we're still in the weekly bear flag here, right? We just measured this. This pretty much ticked it, or didn't go over it. So, right, if you're not over the 0.382 box, you're still in a bear flag territory. So longer term bears are still in control in a longer time frame, right? And right, this was the 74 prior resistance. Finally broke above it, acted as support. Now this is acting as resistance again. They already ticked these lows and these highs, and now we just give it all back. So that's not a great sign. Longer term bears are definitely still in control at the moment. To negate that, definitely break above 74 for me, and continuation of that daily uptrend. At least make a higher low here, make a stand here at the 66. See if we can break above that. All right, let's take Tesla. So not much to talk about Tesla here, right? We nailed the top together here after that fake breakout above, stopped everyone out, and it just rolled over ever since then. Daily downtrend confirmed right here. Talked about this during December, and it's just continuation of it. Every single bounce is a lower high. The high is lower than prior one. Lower and lower and lower, lower high, lower high, lower high, right? Lower low, lower lower, lower low, right? That being said, support held, major support here, because this low is the gateway into this structure, right? Between 385 to 358, there's literally nothing traded here. So if this breaks, this is gonna be a quick flush into this 358 zone right here. That's why bulls has been holding for the last couple times here, right? You can see this big bounce, but now we give it all back again. Now another test right here, just this week. Decent bounce, but we're still made at a lower high. So what I want to see from the bulls is at least break above a pivot of the lower high pivot here. We can break above this 408, confirm a daily uptrend here. Okay, finally we broke above it. Then we have a shot back to 418, 420 here. But if this continues to lower high and lower low, right? Next we're gonna lower high and lower low and break the support. So this week is super key. This is gonna be the test if you're gonna break this again, or it's gonna bounce back, break above it. All right, so Meta. Bigger picture wise, still trading in our tiny range. Right, support, rejection, resistance. Um, Shorter term picture wise, is still trading in the lower range. Prior resistance. Tried to support, now resistance again. So it's trading in this lower range. For it to become more bullish for me is to break above all these tops right here from this 680 into this 700 structure right here. So this low, that'll be the first resistance I'll be looking at. Break above here, we'll be looking back potentially, trade in this area. It continues to trade here, right? It breaks down a little bit, then we'll be looking to see if it tests this 627 zone right here at the low of this trend line. And if it breaks there, then bears are going to be looking for it to break these pivots. This for 604 and it's 558. Amazon looking a little much better than its peers after this drop, right? This bounce is relative strength compared to the market. Overall, much stronger than the market lately. You see this little inverse head and shoulders confirmed as well. Broke above, also confirmed a daily uptrend to their favor. Overall, bigger picture wise, I don't see Amazon making 247s anytime soon, unless the market breaks new all-time highs. I see it potentially come back up, maybe to 226, and then trade more in the range, which it loves to do. This ticker is a range name after likes to make a move every like half a year or something, but overall, it loves to just range like this. So I wouldn't be surprised if it decides to, ping pong around here until market decides to choose a direction. All right, so Microsoft here. So Microsoft also flipping from relative weakness since this top. This price action has been super weak compared to the market, right? Qs are holding near the highs like this, and Microsoft is literally give back everything to this low, right? But like I said, always relative strength and relative weakness flips when it hits major resistance or major support. We hit major support here from Microsoft. This April low support right here, right? Tons of volume traded around this area. Held support versus there's a huge gap here. There's zero volume traded there. See how easy to flush through that is year to year. Yeah. So for now, Microsoft is relative strength, right? Its price action for the last 2 weeks has been stronger than the market and the Qs over our stuff. You can see even on Friday, market was deep red. Microsoft is up, down only 0.42. And also the software sector is bouncing as well a little bit, so helps. So what I wouldn't be surprised to see is Microsoft coming back at the test 433, and because there's not a lot of volume trading in these areas when we flushed it, it shouldn't be too hard for the bulls to at least come back up to test 433, and then we'll see how it trades when it does come up here. The bears, I wouldn't be too bearish all the way down here, right? We literally give back the whole move already. If you're a bear, I'll wait for a bounce first before looking for more of a longer term bearish trade. At least wait for it to come back up to 433 zones or at 450. See if there's a bearish setup. I don't see it at the moment because we literally just flipped to relative strength. All right, Google. So sitting right on my trend line here, prior resistance, flip to support. So I want to see if this is going to act as support here. If this breaks, then I'm just looking at to test this structure here, where the last little structure was built here. If this breaks, I'm seeing if it comes back to 287 and test 274 as well. If that breaks, obviously we're going to come back to 255, which is the last structure that was built. But for now, it looks like bulls are trying to hold support here. You can see the market was pretty red, but Google held its double bottom support here and triple bottom support here, and with the trend line. All right, let's take a look at Apple. So Apple is still trading in this bigger tiny range that we're looking at for a while. There's a smaller one here, but I kind of broke bear a little bit here already. If this breaks below lower, then I'm just looking back down to this 250 area for the trend line support, as well as it coincides with these two supports. But I don't see Apple breaking this tiny range anytime soon. So yeah, likely where you're going to trade. All right, let's look at Nvidia. So this is the key. See if the market's going to roll over or not, right? This is kind of like the price action, what Microsoft did when it went up. This area doesn't have a lot of support, just like kind of like a straight up move. That's why it's easy for it to kind of like reverse for Microsoft. Obviously, there was a catalyst for it, but so prior resistance, prior all-time high resistance, prior all-time high resistance, prior all-time high resistance, support, 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 right? Flipping over. So that is where I'm still waiting to see if it breaks this range. Market is waiting for it to see if it breaks this range, kind of like the Qs. So if this breaks down and it starts coming down like that and it flushes through all these levels, right? If it breaks bear here, bears would want to see it break all these pivots all at once and kind of like flush through all these stops underneath these pivots and then go straight to back test this 150 area. I wouldn't be surprised if it does back test prior all-time highs near 150. But who knows what it wants to do until it breaks, right? Next, we thought it was going to break here, and just kidding, test the top of the range, right? Resistance, 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 resistance. Rejected again after earnings, and we're still ping-ponging. Who knows when it wants to break? It's been ping-ponging since July, right? That's like 7 months now. So yeah, let's wait for it to break. Not looking that great here, right? This drop kind of just flushed right through it. We could have said the same thing over here, flushed right through it, but next thing you know. But so we'll see. Keep an eye watch on this though. If it does break, it's definitely going to drag the Qs and the whole semiconductor sector in that direction. So super key here. All right, that's all for you guys. If you would like, share, and subscribe, I'll be doing the commodities update tomorrow. If you want to check that out, the gold, silver, natural gas, US dollar, oil, will all be tomorrow. Have a great rest of you guys' weekend and take care.